There's this scene in Resident Evil 4 about halfway through the game where you get on a ski lift and take it down to the next area. Along the way, there are, well, zombies. And it turns into a pretty novel sniping section where both you and your targets are moving through space. It's not the best part of the game, but it's fun and adds a bit of variety and challenge that we hadn't quite seen at that point in the game. Once you get to the bottom, you run around a little, collect some treasures, have a boss fight with this disgusting dude, and then you make your way back to the ski lift. You step on the lift, and you may be expecting to do it all over again in reverse, this time with the zombies above you, or just watching as your characters slowly ride back to the top. Instead, the screen just fades to black, and you skip to stepping off the lift. This moment may seem trivial, but it struck me at the time and it's stuck with me for nearly 20 years, and I think it's because it's a perfect example of what makes Resident Evil 4 so incredible. It's brilliantly paced, and it never makes me feel like it's wasting my time. And I don't think this is just relevant for video games, this is absolutely relevant for the professional world. I tell people this all the time when we're working on presentations, but all of us are storytellers. It's not about using the most words, or the biggest words, or the most buzzwords, right? It's about making clear, concise points that convince your audience of something, whatever you're trying to convince them of. And so it's much more important to build on what came before. Every statement you make should, as much as possible, build on the previous statement. You should think of novel things to engage your audience to make sure they're paying attention, but you should only do them once. If you do things more than once, the novelty wears off. Resident Evil, 20 years ago, or almost 20 years ago, understood that, and it helped make a game that's paced brilliantly and keeps you engaged and keeps you wanting to pay attention, keep moving forward. And that is also relevant in the professional world. And in this world where a lot of us are remote and you're doing these presentations over Zoom, it's extra important. It's doubly important to keep your audience engaged so that they're not moving the Zoom window to the background and working on something while you're talking. You want to keep them engaged. You want to give them a reason to pay attention other than just, it's your job to be here. I guess maybe that could be enough, but it's not enough. You need to have something to engage them, and anything you can do to keep them paying attention, to keep them interested, to get them to buy in to it. Like, the ultimate goal is even to make people want to support whatever you're talking about, so much so that they act like it's their idea. That's the ultimate thing, because then they're invested. They're not invested in your success necessarily. We're all invested in our own success. And so if you can tell a great story and can show people how something benefits them and do it, like I said, like Resident Evil does, where it doesn't waste your time, it just moves forward, that's how you do it. And I think that's a good thing to keep in mind. So that's it for me today. If you enjoy video games and haven't played Resident Evil 4, I highly recommend it. It's available for basically every system available. It originally came out in the mid to early 2000s on the GameCube. That's where I played it first. I played it so many times. And if you can play it on PC right now, I highly recommend downloading the community-created HD texture pack that makes the game look a lot crisper at higher resolutions, and is frankly an incredible achievement by that community. It's really, really impressive. It's totally free. This isn't sponsored or anything. I just think it's really cool. So if you're playing that, I'll leave a link in the description where you can download that and see how to install it. But until next time, thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.